Hey, Vicki St. James here with Dr. Jared Smith. Jared, it's such an honor and such a pleasure to have you in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to introduce my son, a man who's not only an amazing educator, but also a dedicated leader, making history and education right here in Iowa, Dr. Jared Smith. Jared is wrapping up his third year as superintendent in Waterloo, the Waterloo Community School District, one of the largest districts in the state with over 10,000 students and 1,700 employees. But Jared's journey in education didn't begin in administration. He actually began his career teaching math to middle and high school students in Chicago, Fort Dodge, and Northport, Florida. From there, he moved on to become assistant principal of Waterloo's East High School, go Trojans, and head principal at Muscatine High in Muscatine. Before coming back to Waterloo, he was the superintendent of the South Tama School District. With this wealth of experience, Jared knows what it takes to make schools thrive. This year, Jared achieved something truly historic for the Waterloo community. He led the successful proposal for a brand new Waterloo High School, uniting East and West high schools for the first time under one roof in history. Thanks to the incredible support of the community, the bond passed with 60% approval, and groundbreaking is set for 2025. This state of the art school will be a game changer when it opens in 2028. Jared is also an award winning blogger, professional speaker, adjunct professor, and author of 3 books, including his latest, The Ed Leadership Playbook. And yes, I had the honor of editing it. When he's not at work, Jared's into reading, executive coaching, sports, working out, and of course, attending concerts. Get ready to hear from someone who's not only shaping the future of education, but also living his passion each and every day. Please welcome Dr. Jared Smith.
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for having me here. I'm excited. Thanks. That was quite the introduction there.
Oh,
So
yes, my
I
pleasure.
appreciate you sharing all those great things, and
Of
it's exciting to be
course.
here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jared. So tell me, do you have any fun childhood stories that you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh gosh, I got lots of fun childhood stories.
Okay.
So probably there's the as I think about childhood and as it's getting nicer out here, I think about growing up in Waterloo, and
Yes.
the thing that we did every day, almost every day without fault, was go to Burns Pool.
Yes, Burns
So we
Pool.
lived a few blocks away, depending, we had a couple different houses,
Yes.
but we had, for the most part, lived just a short bike ride away or walk
Yes.
away. And I
Yes.
just will always remember going down to Burns Pool during the day. It was packed. It was hot out. And then just hanging out in the pool, going off
Yes.
the diving boards, had my siblings were there obviously
Uh-huh.
too. And then at some point, I don't know when this was, but maybe early 90s, they added a water slide, which was the
Yes.
talk of the town at that point, that there was a water slide at Burns Pool.
Right.
And just I remember just vividly those days, and then those nights, right, when we
Uh-huh.
would be there all day, and then they'd close down from, I think it was 5 to 6,
Uh-huh.
and then there would be a night swim from 6 to 8. And
Yes.
not all the time, but a lot, sometimes to be able to do that night swim and
Right.
and just enjoy things. So I think that if you're talking about childhood memories, for
Yes.
me, it's just going and enjoying the time at the pool during the summer.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And tell the audience about the fact that you were the manager at Gates Park at the swimming pool there.
Yeah, I don't, maybe that, upon reflection, maybe that's kind of what got me going. But in college, I needed a summer job,
Mhm.
and there was some position. I don't even know how I heard about it, but there was some positions over at Gates Pool, which is, there's two at the time. There was two public pools in Waterloo, and Gates Pool was on the northeast side, and I heard there was openings, and I applied, and ended up being a kind of a deck guard, which was kind of just making sure that kids were behaving, and
Yes.
and man, kind of monitoring the pool inside and outside. And then 2 years later, then I moved into a manager role. So,
Yes.
and did that for 2 years. So it was
Wow.
4 amazing summers at Gates Pool
Yes.
in Waterloo, and it may have all started from those days and nights growing up at Burns Pool.
Oh,
So
I love
definitely
that.
a lot of experiences working at the pools in Waterloo.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And who would you say, Jared, is your biggest influence?
Oh gosh, there's so many different ways I can go here, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
probably say my parents.
Oh,
And
thank
I'm not just saying
you.
that, you know, but I would
Aw,
probably say,
thank
you know, just
you.
learning the characteristics of both you and dad,
Uh-huh.
in terms of treating everybody with respect and
Oh,
always you know, being positive
mhm.
and working hard and never, you know, just all the different characteristics that I kind of live by these days.
How
Hardworking, you
beautiful.
know, those sort of things. Always caring for others. You know, those sort of things. I would say probably started from early in my life from you and dad. So,
Aw, thank you so much, Jared. That is so beautiful. So, what is your personal mission statement?
oh gosh, personal mission statement. That's a really good question,
Mhm.
and I'll be honest. I know you said look at these ahead of time. I did not, so this is all truly like off the cuff. But I don't
Okay,
mind doing off the cuff.
it's all good.
So Maya Angelou has a quote that says, "Hey, about how you know about treating other people well. Like they may
Yes.
not remember. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's like they may not remember what you said or what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel." And so I
Yes.
truly feel like, you know, I might not always say the right things. I might not always make the right decisions, but I always try to make people feel good. And I
Yes.
think that's very, you know, it's kind of fluffy sounding, you know, making people feel good, but like showing
No,
them that
so
you respect,
important.
showing
Yes.
them that they're doing a job well done, whatever it might be, recognizing the strengths that they bring, noticing things and telling them that those things about them. I always try to do those things. And while, you know, we might not always, you know, like I said, say the right things, make the right decisions, people will
Yes.
always remember how you made them feel. And I feel like
Yes.
you know, I just always try to live by that. And I feel like that has served me well in the places that I've worked previously and
Oh,
currently work. So,
very profound. Very profound. And I know that you're a lifelong learner, as am I. And my mission statement, just so you know, is to learn, grow, and change every day. And I feel that with you as well, because you're a very big reader. You're very much into research. Growing and changing is very important to you. And thank you for inspiring me to learn, grow, and change by everything you do. It's
yeah.
beautiful. So tell me, do you have a bucket list? And if so, what is on that list?
Oh gosh, bucket list, huh? Well, you know, I've done some traveling. I haven't done you know, when people talk about bucket list, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, you know, first thought is like, where do you go? Where do you
Yeah,
travel
right.
to? There's no place in particular that really like, oh, I gotta get there, but I do
Yeah.
want to continue to travel, right? Want to continue to
Yes.
travel, enjoy, you know, just opens your eyes to other cultures. There's way more, you know, I love it here in the Cedar Valley, love it
Yes.
here in Iowa, but there's way more out there than maybe sometimes we realize. And so
Right.
I love just having those perspectives, whether it's a lot, you know, just a few days someplace um, or a longer period of time. But I would also say like sporting events, right? So sporting events, like
Yes.
I've been to a lot of sporting events, but you know, there's probably some big ones out there that I haven't, you know, been to
Mhm.
some of the bigger stadiums in the country that just seeing like a good
Yes.
rivalry game is a fun idea. And then concerts too, right? There's concerts
Yes.
out there that I still want to get to. I've tried to go see The Weekend.
Oh,
Twice I've
yes.
tried to go see, and both times for whatever reason it did not
Oh,
happen. So let's put that one up there. I know he's going to be in Chicago and Minneapolis this summer, so I
there
think
you
it's going to
go.
happen.
There you
But
go.
just concerts in general, just the energy in the stadium, the
Yes.
seeing world class performers, just is exciting for me, and it's an experience I like to have.
Oh, very, very much so. So tell me, when did you first know that you wanted to work for the Waterloo Community Schools?
Oh man. Well, I've worked with them technically, you could even say 3 times. So even as
Ooh.
I did my student teaching in the Waterloo schools back
Oh,
in 2003, I want to
sweet.
say 2004, somewhere in there. And I actually was a volunteer basketball coach, and I think I ended up getting
Oh,
paid a little bit of money at the end of the season. So, you
nice.
know, that was the first time that I
Wow.
was in the Waterloo schools, and
Yes.
I don't know at that time like what, you know, it was where I got placed for student
Yes.
teaching, just
Yes,
kind
of
of the way it works
course.
in the teaching
Yes.
field. And so I thought it was cool. I was at the school I used to go to, which was Hoover Middle School. And so I was coaching, I was
Yay.
doing my student teaching there and coaching.
Wow.
And just thought that was kind of cool. And then I came back as an assistant principal, and I was a person here reached out to me and said, "Hey, we have an opening in Waterloo." And I'm like, you know what? I would love to come back to Waterloo as an assistant principal at East High.
Yes.
And then 3 years ago, this job came open, the superintendent job. And I had people reach out to me. So I think every time it's been people have like, "Hey, Jared, you should think about coming this direction." And so it's not like it's more just timing, I guess you could say, than it is me like, oh, I can't, like I'm just waiting for a position to come open. That's not been the case. It's been more timing. It's been more circumstance. And that's kind of how that's worked. And all 3 times I've learned a lot. I've appreciated my experiences. And like I said, my goal is to make it a better place than when I got here. And I think for the 3 different positions, I think I've accomplished that.
Oh, definitely. And then some, Jared. Absolutely. So tell us about the Waterloo Community Schools. What's going on right now? What exciting things are happening?
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. And everybody wants to talk about like the high school project, right? The high school project it's a big project. It's combining, East and West High. We've talked about this at length. 2 beautiful schools have thousands and thousands of alumni who are doing great things. But those buildings are getting older.
Yes.
And so we've been seeking solutions on what to do next with those buildings. And after all of 10 years plus worth of work, we decided that the best route forward was to build a school where all 10th through 12th grade students could come together, and that's located out at Central. We needed community approval on that. We got that approval back in December. So when you say what's exciting right now is it's go time, right? This Thursday, we're getting the final bids from contractors about, we'll find out the projected costs of doing the work. And we're super excited about that. We're also working on, in tandem, we're working on like the high school name, the high school mascot, the colors. Now, I'm not personally working on that. It's a committee, a community committee who is pulling all that information together and helping make some decisions. But that's another big piece. And then ultimately, we've got groundbreaking. You mentioned groundbreaking here probably next month, probably in May. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. And we haven't even talked about like the real work that's going on, which is we've got some great things going on in our buildings. We've got 3 main goal areas, which are attendance, culture, and achievement. Attendance has seen some significant improvements this year, getting kids to school. Climate has also seen some incredible growth. We hit our all-time record in the fall. We just got our scores back for the spring. They're down a little bit. We knew they would be down. We're going through some budget reductions, but it didn't go down that far. And we're still doing some great things that I would put our numbers up against anyone. And then achievement, we just seen some great growth. Post COVID has been difficult on schools, and primarily those like low income schools, students with economically disadvantaged. And we've seen some incredible growth that puts us up against really anyone in the state, anyone in the country in terms of the growth we've seen with our students. So we've got great things going on across all avenues, all sectors of our organization.
Oh, that is wonderful. And this writing a birthday card to every child on their birthday. I've had so many children come up to me and say, "Your son sent me a handwritten card on my birthday, and it's on my refrigerator right now." And as a mother, this is the most beautiful thing I can hear coming from a child. So when did you get that idea to do that? And do you ever get writer's cramp?
Yeah, so I got that idea, oh man, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I was reading a book. I think it was John Gordon.
Okay.
So I think it was somebody like a superintendent in another state was doing it for their kids. I'm like, okay, if he can do that, I can do that. Right. And so I started as a high school principal, started doing it. Then as a small town superintendent in South Hammond County. And then when I came here, we've got 10,000 kids.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that seems like a lot, but I've still stuck with it. I enjoy doing it. Do you get writer's cramp? I don't know if I get writer's cramp, but my handwriting starts to not be very good.
Right.
And so, but I enjoy it. I kind of just get a chance it helps me just kind of zone out a little bit. I kind of
Yeah.
look at the names. I kind of, I know their parent or
Yes.
whatever. And just yesterday, anecdotally, was at a coffee shop, and a family walked in, and I knew that one of their kids, they had three kids. One of the kids had recently had a birthday last week, and I was able to remember that because I remember the name on the postcard, and it should be in the mail today. So I was able to go up to that family
Oh,
and just say, like, hey, okay, whose birthday is it? And they're like, what?
yes.
And they were really surprised that I knew that. I'm like, no, I've got a birthday card coming for the 6-year-old. And so I told him to be looking out for it. So he was excited that he was going to be getting
Yes.
that. So
Oh,
I think it's just the gift that keeps on giving. A lot of our students don't get
right.
much in the mail, and
Exactly. Of
we don't get anything in the mail,
course.
right?
Of
So that's fun.
course.
So yeah, it's fun for them
Yes.
to kind of get those in the mail, and we talk about it all the time when I visit schools.
Ah, that is so incredibly beautiful. So tell me, what do you like most about working for Waterloo Community School District?
Oh gosh, what I like most about working, it's just like the impact that I'd be able to have. Like growing
Mm,
up in Waterloo, talking about working at Burns, working at Gates,
yes.
like I see myself in those students, whether they're elementary students, middle school students, high school students.
Oh,
And so like just knowing that they can do whatever they want, right?
yes.
Sometimes there's a little bit of a stigma, like, oh, Waterloo, which again, it's a blue collar
Yeah.
community, and there's maybe like, hey, can you really capture all your dreams growing up there? And I
Mm,
certainly am here to say you can. So
yes.
whatever you put your mind to, whatever you work towards, you're able to make those goals happen. So I just want to make
Right.
sure our kids understand that, right?
Yes.
And so that's exciting for me, and I see some of them working towards big goals, and whether it's around here or anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world, really. So
Right.
I think just giving back, making an impact, making decisions that feel good for the community, that feel good for our students, our families. That's what makes it worthwhile in my mind.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And just going back to your high school era, you're a 2000 graduate from Waterloo West High School. And I recall the days when you were asked to mentor some students.
Yep.
And I felt that was when you really caught the fire of what it could be like to devote your life to this very thing. Can you speak to that mentorship back in high school?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was, I want to say I was a junior at West High, and I think it was my counselor who
Oh,
said, hey, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do,
mhm.
and I was looking for some volunteer hours, and they mentioned that there was some volunteer opportunities at West Middle School, which is no longer. It's where the stadium was at, where Irving Elementary is at now.
Yes.
But I went over there, and I was like not sure what to expect, and it was just Wednesday after school, some tutoring opportunities, and I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed going to see the kids. They enjoyed seeing me. They, we had fun. We were learning. We were teaching some things, but
Yes.
some math or reading or whatever it was, social studies. But we were also playing some games, right? So we do
Yes.
a little bit of intensive reading or working, and then we'd play like a game, like a Jeopardy or whatever it
Ooh.
was. And I had fun kind of making those games up for the kids, and so
Aw.
they seemed excited to see me. I was excited to see them. And I said, you know what? I could see myself doing this for profession. So that's kind of where it got started. I really enjoyed it, and just kind of blossomed from there.
Yes. So your school counselor really kind of encouraged you in that area because they saw the future in you and what you could do and what you could accomplish. And that's so beautiful to make sure that we're, intentional about who we help. And I'll just bring up my story of well, he is like a doctor in my mind, John Focht, who was principal in Cedar Falls High. He saw me as a broadcaster. And I was like, what? I don't think so. I'm a
Mhm.
single mama. I'm a waitress and I teach your fitness classes, John. He's like, Vicki, what do you want, radio or TV? And he hands me a card. And I said, just tell him John sent you. It's like, wow,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
just thank John so much for that. And of course, he's 93 years of age now, and we still go out twice a year to celebrate our friendship. We go to Godfather's Pizza in either Cedar Falls, which is now closed. Now we're going to Waterloo. So
Very cool.
it's just so important to encourage brilliance that you see in others and mentor them and bring it forth. And I think that's what your school counselor did. That's what John did for me.
Yep.
And thank the Lord for those kind,
Yep.
perceptive individuals. And that is exactly what you're doing for others. And I love that. So, okay, so this is a fun little question. If you didn't read the questions, you'll be probably surprised. But I love to see how all my guests respond
Okay.
differently. Okay, so what are your pet peeves, Jared?
Oh gosh, pet peeves. Oh man, gotta be careful here, right?
Yes, be careful.
Here's what comes to mind is, and again, maybe this is a little corny, but when people are like, I just don't like when people are like rude to like service industry people, right? Does that make sense? Or anyone, really just like, why? Like, I just see too many people out there, and I could be like this too at times, but who are just in a rush or aren't happy, and they take it out on others, right? Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's at a gas station, and so I just like, or even just people on the road who are just like, just have the are just a little upset or angry in their car, the road rage,
Yes.
So I think just like my pet peeve is like people who are just like, okay, calm down.
Yes.
We're okay. Right.
Yes.
So I would say that I always try to be as respectful as possible to everyone. And
it's beautiful.
So I would say that's probably the first thing that comes to my mind if I had to pick one. I don't know if that's a kind of a theme of what you're hearing in this interview, but I would just say people who are upset and angry and in a hurry and like just it'll be okay.
Yes, it'll be okay.
That'd be mine. So
take a nice deep breath. Everything's going to be just fine. I love it. So, okay. So any closing thoughts?
Just appreciate this opportunity. Appreciate the chance to like share just about things that I'm going through, or just some kind of digging into some personal things with me, but also getting the chance to share the great things about going on in the Waterloo schools. Just appreciate that. And just I love I had a chance to speak to a leadership group a week ago. The Cedar Valley Leadership Institute is about 50 up and coming leaders in the Cedar Valley. And just really enjoyed that time. It was an hour with those individuals, and it didn't seem like enough time. I could have talked for 2 hours just about like, hey, here's some things I've learned. You talk about like lifelong learning, and I totally agree that that you should always be looking for opportunities to improve. And when you see somebody doing something that is great, remarkable, like, okay, what is it that they're doing specifically?
Right.
So I used to have a podcast that I did during COVID for like 3 years. And, when I took the job up here, I kind of just let that go. It was just like something had to give, and that's what gave. But the focus of that was to learn from others and to pick up professional practices and skills and habits from other people. So that was a great opportunity for me to learn from others. And now here's another chance for me to share with the audience just some things that may or may not resonate. And so it's all coming full circle in terms of that lifelong learning, which you talked about in terms of your personal mission statement. So
absolutely
appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. So where can our viewers find you on social media?
Yeah. So, Facebook, Instagram, the usuals, right? But I've also got a website that's drjaredsmith.com. And you got like all kinds of just resources there. My books are on there, just blogs, just a lot of information there. So I would say social media for sure, Facebook, like I said, Instagram, and then that personal website, which has got a lot of stuff there too. So love for you to check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what if somebody wants to hire you to speak for them?
Yeah, I would love to come and speak to your group, your organization. So you can just, you go to my website and there's a little entry form you can just fill out. It goes right to me. Or you can just email me directly. It's dr.jaredsmith@gmail.com. jaredsmith.com. I'm sorry, at gmail.com. You'll know when you draft an email, and if my face pops up and you see that picture, you'll know you got me.
Yes.
So if you don't see anything pop up, it might be the wrong address.
Right,
so
right.
Look for the picture, and you'll be on your way.
Okay, Dr. Jared R. Smith at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a little period between the doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's a little tricky. There's so many Gmails out there right now.
Yes, of course there is. But again, like you said, you'll figure it out. You'll see his face.
Absolutely.
I love that. Gosh, Jared, any last thoughts? Obviously Jared is my eldest son, and we have fun family memories. And one time you posted a photograph of our home on Moyer Street on Facebook and said, how did mom raise four, later 5 children in that home? She's a saint because it's tiny. It's quaint. And then how cute is this? Angela Rodriguez, who lives there now, saw that. And she too is a single mama raising 4 children on her own. And she's like, that's my house. And now the two of us have become close friends. We go to lunch. We're in a networking group together. And you just never know who you're going to reach out to. And I told you, Jared, I would never be on Facebook my whole life. Nope, not doing it. And then I started to think, well, hey, there could be some, positives to this. And that's one example. As long as you really restrict your time on social media. And I know you're very disciplined with that. You turn off your notifications, all of that. You try. Yes, I try to. But yes, I mean, fun things, connecting with others, and her children are in the Waterloo Community Schools. And what a small world that is. Angela, we love you. Yes. And anything else that you want to share about the family and growing up and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you bring up some good memories about that house on Moyer Street.
On Moyer.
I think the 3 of us boys at one time lived up in the attic.
Yes.
And so not a very, very big area up there. But I mentioned in that post that I was fortunate. I feel like it was good to have that experience, right? Where right. I mean, you did everything you could for us, but we didn't always have everything. And you're talking about Godfather's Pizza. I think on Saturday nights, every once in a while when you were working on Saturday nights, we get to order Godfather's Pizza. And that was a big deal for us. Right. So that kind of gives you the idea, it was a specialty to have a pizza, the 4 of us when you were working. So just fortunate that but you still did everything you could for us, and Dad did too. But it was a good experience just to, hey, we were not handed everything. And that we had to say we had 3 of us had to live upstairs together in a very tight quarters. And sometimes we didn't get along that well, but other times we did, and we made it work. And so now when you get, you have an opportunity to maybe live a little bit better life, then you kind of just, you always remember where you came from and what it was like. And so when you have students who also, who are, maybe in that situation where single mom, 4 kids, tight quarters, you can emphasize, or wait, empathy. You have empathy for those individuals. So I just feel like it all worked out the way it was supposed to be, and I'm just very thankful for that opportunity. And some great memories back in that house, which was on Moyer Street, which is kind of by 6 Corners. Right by 6 Corners. We used to walk up to that Quick Star, which is now closed. We used to walk up to that Quick Star all the time and get food and candy and donuts and all that stuff. So
And how about Lake Okoboji, Jared? Every summer. That was fun.
Well, I don't know about every summer. I think we went up there a few times, right? Okay, a few times we went up there, but I'm trying to think. But either way, it was definitely some good memories.
I started that in 1995 and 95, 96, 97, something like that.
Yep.
So, and I saw it in the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier. There was a little itty bitty ad for Fillenworth, and I'm sure everybody's familiar with Fillenworth. And I was like, I want my children, just because I'm a single mama, I don't want them to feel like they never go on vacation. So I called them, and we loved every time we went there. It was beautiful. And you learned to water ski.
Yes. I always remember the 3 things I remember were water skiing, playing ping pong, because they had a ping pong table, and then watching movies at night.
There you go.
we
Oh,
watched like Star Wars one of those times, I want to say. Or,
uh-huh.
but those are the three main things I remember: are
Yes.
water skiing, yeah, ping pong, in like the
Yes.
clubhouse, and then watching
Right.
movies at night. So
Oh, that's so lovely. And we used to have slumber parties for every one of your birthdays, and they were legendary.
yeah. Yeah, I talk to some of my friends now who would think a sleepover would be crazy to have, just as too much like chaos, right? But we did it.
Uh-huh. We
We
did
did
it.
it for me and all the siblings. I
Yes.
think, at least me and Josh for
Yeah,
sure.
all the siblings.
We'd
Yep.
have, and we would have a chance to like rent video games
Yes.
and eat food and stay up super late. And
Uh-huh.
yeah. So appreciate the opportunity to our my friends always look forward to that.
That's
So
so lovely. One of your friends, or maybe it was Josh's friend, said, I still remember making our own individual personalized pizzas at your birthday party overnights.
fun. Yep. We got to do
Oh,
kind of.
it was Nick Hoffman. Yeah,
Okay, Nick.
Nick.
Okay, we'll have to send this to Nick and make sure he hears this. He's still local here, doing great things
Right?
with his company there.
He's
So
amazing. So that would have been Josh's friend for Josh's party. And then one night at your party, things got a little out of hand outside.
yeah,
You put a bunch of teenagers together and they're outside some night. And yes, next door, we got a little out of hand. But you know what? We made it
broke
work
a window. I
anyway.
don't know how that exactly happened, but got a little wild. But
Uh-huh.
all good,
Yeah,
all good.
all good. And that gentleman and I became very close friends. He's like, Vicki, I understand when you get kiddos together, you got to give them a way to let loose the energy. So it's just one of those cute little stories that I remember. And yeah, so I also remember studying with you for art tests, art history tests. And I gave you little stories to remember.
Yeah,
And that was one of my favorite
yep,
moments of
yeah.
parenting.
I did not care for those art history tests.
But I love them.
Yeah,
So that's my
so I still
jam.
remember Mary Cassatt, Mothers and Children.
Oh, you still
Right? It was
remember.
MC.
Yes,
MC, Mary
MC.
Cassatt, Mother's Children. I will always remember
Oh, that makes me so happy.
that.
I love it. Ah, good memories. And then, of course, I would come and read to each one of you before you went to sleep every night, even when you were in high school. And you are a big reader and you've published 3 books.
So it could be, yeah, like
Yeah.
we said, I mean, that's kind of been a theme of this conversation is like
Yes.
where some things that happen in our childhood
Mm-hmm.
turn out to be, we talked about the pool manager, we
Yes.
talked about the tutoring
Right.
education, we talked about, the reading, the writing the book. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that could be said for the way some of those things that happen in childhood where
Yes.
then for some reason down the road that kind of circles back and you do
Right.
a full whatever 360, I don't know what you call it,
Yes.
but yeah,
Yes. A
so
full
I totally
one.
agree.
Yes,
Totally agree.
absolutely. So, yeah, it's just been such a pleasure. Again, how can our viewers reach out to you?
Yeah, like I said, just check out the website, check out my Facebook page, and then email me. Like we said, dr.jaredsmith.com. Would love to speak to any businesses, any organizations. I always just bring just 3 or 4 key ideas for you to implement in your workspace. And
Mhm.
I talked to a lot of people who say those work, and those are things that I picked up over the years. And so, yeah, would love to have that opportunity to work with you.
So beautiful. I understand you're speaking to our owner, Jim Koloff's Rotary Group next week.
Yeah.
And he is so excited about that.
Yeah, yep. I'm excited to speak with that group. I'm like, okay, the things come so quick here.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. It's coming up, and
Yes.
excited to speak to that group. It's kind of the tour is what we do here as community leaders, and so excited to speak to that group next week.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Any last closing thoughts?
I think that's it. I appreciate the time. This has been a fun
Oh,
conversation,
my
and
pleasure.
excited to kind of get it out there and let people listen.
Keep doing a fabulous job. I'm so incredibly proud of you, Jared. And thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of my podcast today.
Absolutely. It was
All
a pleasure.
right. Thank you. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful day. Take care, and thank you for watching. We appreciate you.